7 Days, Awakening the Extraordinary Man in You. Anthony Robbins is America's leading thinker. A successful entrepreneur. Author many bestsellers. Has served as an advisor to the management professionals of large companies around the world. The work outlined a series of useful tools that further enrich the quality of life. This is a handbook that we can refer to whenever life poses new challenges or requires change. Part I, Liberate the Power Itself. Chapter 1, Dream of Life. We all dream, for many, because the regular and tedious rotation of the day's cave life makes their dreams blurred. What makes a difference in the quality of human life? Accepting a survival or concentration of strength on a particular field sustainably so that aspect becomes superior? 3 basic steps you can apply right away to change your life. Step 1, raise yourself. Raise the standards set for yourself, i.e., change what you require yourself to achieve. Step 2, change your narrow beliefs about yourself. This is the most powerful resource, because faith allows us to access our hidden abilities so that we can cope with challenges. Step 3, change the strategy. You have to act and comply with what is planned, i.e., master the things that most often affect us. As emotional mastery, don't let the outside world govern your emotions, but we have to control it. Master the body, control your physical health, do not let your teeth dig for yourself. Create and maintain relationships, create deep relationships from family to society. You will be rewarded by feeling shared, contributed, made a difference in other people's lives. Financial management, change the conception and attitude of wealth, see money as a means rather than the ultimate goal for happiness. Time mastery, make the right decision, tame the desire for instant enjoyment to allow ideas, creativity, including potential to reach the maximum. Sketch the necessary steps, be ready to act but also be patient before the stops. Chapter 2, Decisions that Make Power. The most effective way to decide our own lives is that we have to act. Destiny is formed in the moment we make decisions, decide how we live in the future. You have to set standards for your own behavior, act on those norms despite any obstacles. You have to define what you want and then act, thereby realizing what works or isn't working, and then change your approach until you get what you want. There are 3 decisions that govern your destiny. 1. Identify things to care about. 2. Identify the things that are important to you. And 3. Determine what you will do to produce the desired result. Having to overcome the fear that you will make the wrong decision, by realizing that success is actually the result of good judgment. Good judgment is the result of experience, and experience is often the result of misjudgments. Personal experience is important, but learning the experiences of those who go ahead will also be valuable, helping us avoid stumbling. Remember, this life does not exist what is called failure, only results. The secret to help you quickly harness the power of the decision. 1. Remember the real power of the decision. 2. Give clear commitments. 3. Regular decision making. 4. Withdraw the experience from the previous decision. 5. Persistence in making decisions, but flexible in approach. 6. Enjoy the joy of being made decisions. Chapter 3, The Power That Shapes Life. What makes a criminal or someone who is gallant for the community? What makes a difference in the way people behave? That's the joy and the pain. Understanding and taking advantage of the dynamics of pleasure, suffering will allow you to make sustainable changes for yourself and the people you care about. People will act more drastically and decisively if we tolerate change that will create infinite joy in our lives. If you are upset by something that is external, it is not by the external background, but it is your own identity that has caused that emotion, and you are perfectly capable of changing the way you judge at any time. Only man has the ability to change his way of association to turn suffering into joy or vice versa. When you associate affliction, suffering with something, it is those things that shape your destiny. Mother Teresa was compassionate, seeing other people suffering she also suffered, so she was strongly driven by the idea that saving others from misfortune was also helping to ease her own suffering, and she felt joy and happiness. Before each action, you should ask the questions: why did I not act? In the past, have I committed to taking this action with what pain? How will I pay if I do not change this action? Is it the pleasure of making changes right now? Chapter 4, Faith, the Power of Creativity and the Power of Destruction. You know that not because of the environment, not by the situation in life, but by the meaning that we are associated with events, or how we translate them, is what shapes who we are today and tomorrow. Or, in other words, it's our belief in the meaning of these events that do this job. Everything we do comes from faith. Trust is an irresistible imperative to the nervous system. Faith not only affects emotions or actions, it can also transform our whole body in a certain ink. Faith is what makes a difference in life. So what is trust? It's emotionally certain about something. Every belief comes from a concept. The references or experiences from life help make the conception of a basis become a sure belief. How do you convert trust? Let the brain associate extreme misery with old beliefs, then you have to associate infinite joy with the idea of nurturing a new belief, or you create doubts. Doubts after new experiences cause us to attack the stereotype of old belief. Then reinforce new beliefs with firmer references. Then find an explosive event that triggers strong emotions, like wondering, what would I lose if I didn't? In the end is action. Chapter 5. Can change take place immediately? Remember, the mind is always excitedly waiting for each command, ready to do whatever you ask. This complex system not only allows us to enjoy the beauty of the world, but also helps us survive. Every moment of experiencing pain or meaningful joy, the brain searches for the source of those experiences and stores them in the nervous system to help us make better decisions in the future. Scientists have proven that the more and more times a pattern of behavior is expressed, that pattern of behavior becomes more powerful. If you stop a behavior or an emotion long enough, interrupt it for a long enough time, then it will no longer govern strongly. So, every time we change, we should reinforce it immediately. Regularly train so that the nervous system is not only accustomed to this change, but will maintain the change forever as a conditioned reflex. You have to be ready to change and be an expert mentor to yourself, master life. Must specify in particular something must change. It's me who has to change and I can change everything. Chapter 6. The leading steps to change by the method of coordination of neurological conjuntions. If we want to change our behavior, the only existing way is to relate the feelings of suffering to the old behavior and to relate the joyful emotions to the new behavior. The following 6 key steps associate conjugated conditioning, will guide you how to build a high road that directly takes you out of misery towards joy, comfort. Step 1. Determine what you really want and what is hindering. The second major step, using the power of leverage_link extreme pain with not changing and linking extreme joy with immediate change. The third major step, break the old pattern. The fourth major step, create new alternatives that motivate yourself. The fifth major step, deeply inscribe the new model by re-establishing the new model. The sixth major step, check the effectiveness of the change. 1. When you think of your old behavior and feelings, do you feel heartbroken or joyful? 2. Think of new behavior or emotions you feel joy or distress? 3. Are new behaviors or feelings consistent with your values and rules of life? 4. Do new behaviors or emotions allow you to maintain the benefits and feelings of joy that you once had thanks to the old pattern? 5. Visualize what sparks the old pattern, but there's still a sense of certainty that you can use the new model instead of the old one in that case. Chapter 7. How to achieve what you really want. People who are at the peak of success, despite living a prolific life in many ways, still feel happy are hiding from them. It's because they don't know what they want in this life, they don't know what can help them have more fun, they let the pain and joy from the outside world control themselves, rather than they have to control them. So what do you want? You should also ask yourself the question, why do I want these things? Is it that what you really want is simply a means of achieving the emotions, feelings or appearance that you desire? When we grasp the secrets that trigger a positive emotional state, we can do wonders. Each emotion is associated with a number of physiological activities such as posture, rhythm, breathing rhythm, expression on facial expressions. So, we can move to create emotions, which means changing physiological activity will change the way we feel about situations, and in turn affect how life is assessed. Normally, feeling about everything depends on your focus of attention, which is not entirely real because it's just a face-to-face perspective, a notion of what's happening. The most effective way to control the focus of attention is to use the question. For example, you start a business meeting, but someone is absent. Why is he absent? Your feelings will depend entirely on what you're focusing on. You picture people absent because they're not interested, you're buoyant, the quality of the meeting will be limited. But if you think maybe the person's late is because he's negotiating a deal, you're happy and the meeting will have a better outcome. So all we really want in this life is to change our own feelings. All emotions are just biochemical reactions in the brain and we can control them all the time. Happiness or suffering, this is entirely up to you. Chapter 8. The question is also the answer. Asking questions is the most radical way to explore, learn. Quality questions create a quality life. Questioning limits is a way to slash down barriers in life. With just one sign of gray matter, the brain can help you come up with solutions to difficult problems and create stronger emotions than any technique in human technology. To exploit everything in your data bank, you have to know asking questions. The question of effectiveness must ensure that the following 3 conditions are met. 1. Questions can instantly change the direction of our focus, and thus change the way we feel. 2. The question can change even what we're not conscious of. 3. The question helps open up useful resources for us. Example: the question, "Why does no one like me at all?" will make you focus on searching for the proving arguments for the above situation. But if you ask yourself, "How can I be loved by everyone?" will help you focus on the method of resolution, and your emotional state immediately also transitions accordingly. Or, "Who am I? What capacity am I? And what am I willing to do to achieve the dream?" will help you shape your perception and open up resources. Ask a question, and then you get an answer. The question posed to yourself will lead to a decision to act in a moment, which has a big impact on your fate. Chapter 9. Words that create ultimate success: how effective language selection to describe life experiences can increase healthy, positive emotions. On the contrary, the wrong choice of language is self-harming. The vocabulary rings that we assign to the current experience will make that experience less intense, and then become the same as the name suggests. Words can also switch moods. Understanding the power of words, you will become sensitive to the words that you and others around you often use. Studies in the field of psychology, neuroimmunology suggest that the language we use will produce powerful biochemical effects. During the 3-person leadership meeting, received bad information about the partner not playing pretty, the CEO mad and burgundy ears. "I was angry, upset while my partner was calm, ominous," he said. "If you are angry, you will not control yourself, then others will win." I thought, my friend's use of language has the effect of reducing the intensity of emotions, which in turn can actively solve the problem effectively. Chapter 10. The power of metaphors. Every time we interpret or communicate a concept by pursing it with something else, we're using metaphors. Metaphors are symbols that evoke emotion faster and more fully than the words we use. Metaphors can expand and enrich our life experience. But without knowing how to select the metaphor image for care, we can immediately accept the limited beliefs that accompany it. Each has different metaphors. Some people think of life as a survey, others call life a race. What if you believe this life is sacred? Do you think this life is full of roses or full of pitfalls? If we want to enrich our lives, we need to expand the metaphor repository to describe life, self, or relationships. Remember, the metaphors we use will determine our actions. Take control of your metaphor now and create a new world for yourself, a world full of resources, filled with wonder and joy. Chapter 11. 10 Action Signals. Many people mistakenly perceive that we are not capable of controlling emotions. Emotions are completely out of control. But really, it's me who created the emotion. You can't flee emotions, can't ignore, can't belittle or deceive yourself about what they mean. We have to draw lessons from emotions to enrich the quality of life. Even those so-called negative emotions, we also see them as signals of action. To master your emotions, define how you really feel, acknowledge and appreciate your feelings, learn the message that emotions want to send to you, be confident and strengthen your feelings, make sure that you can handle this emotion not only in the present but also in the future, and be excited to take action. For example, if you feel lonely, but in fact you have a lot of friends, this feeling of loneliness wants to send you a message that you have to act, communicate and meet people more. 10 Action Signals. 1. Nasty, 2. Fear, 3. Hurts, 4. Anger, 5. Disappointed, 6. Missing, 7. Guilty, 8. Useless, 9. Overloaded, 10. Lonely. In parallel with the 10 emotions of action, we have 10 powerful emotions to transform, dissolve or transform. 10 emotions actions include: 1. Loved, 2. Gratitude, 3. Curious to learn, 4. Excited, passionate, 5. Determined, 6. Flexible, 7. Confidence, 8. Fun, 9. Healthy, 10. Donate. Chapter 12. Great Passion, the foundation for a bright future. Many people know what they should do but never do it, because they lack motivation, lack passion. To explore our infinite possibilities, we must find a goal big enough to challenge ourselves, overcome limits and spark potential. To know if you're setting the right goal or not, listen to the feeling, the excitement of thinking about the possibility of achieving it. The main goal is a master plan that leads direction for every thought. Sokai has goals. We need to develop specific plans and develop ourselves, about business career, finance on leisure, adventure, about dedication. In fact, sometimes not achieving the goal brings you closer to the purpose of your life. Create a healthy stress, eustress, to motivate you to move forward. Many people often ignore the joy, happiness on the journey of life. The truth is that if we choose to live happily every second, every minute, we will achieve more. Let the next dreams pull you forward, and endlessly perfect. A bright future is the essential nourishment that feeds our souls. Chapter 13, 10 Days of Mind Trials. The outstanding feature of the champion is the solidity created by routine. To experience a new level of success in terms of self-development as well as professionalism or career, we always need a new level of thinking. If you decide to accept 10 days of mind challenges, it means you just committed to keeping yourself in a very positive state, despite what happens. You remember that you have myriad strategies to change the mood. Rule 1, for 10 consecutive days, refuse to focus on any unhelpful feelings or thoughts. Rule 2, if you find yourself starting to focus on the negative, use techniques to better focus on the state of concentration. Rule 3, make sure to focus entirely on the solution, not on the problem. Rule 4, if you fall into an unhelpful emotion or thought, do not torment yourself. You must wait until the next day to start the 10-day challenge again. In 10 days of challenge, you ask new questions, use mood-shifting language, metaphors to motivate yourself to change your mood as well as physical movements. You do not let laziness, fear, the power of habit govern. 10 days of mind challenges will create new habits, new norms and new expectations. You can confidently change your life. This exercise will not end after this 10. This is really an opportunity for your addiction to focus in the positive direction for the rest of your life. Part 2, Mastering the Control System. Chapter 14, Control Systems, Factors Affecting the Evaluation. Human behavior is diverse, but they all refer to certain patterns that imply a few key factors. The secret to understanding people is to understand the control system, that is, understanding what is controlling all of us. You can evaluate everything in life in a way that leads you to make decisions that bring the desired results. 5 factors that impact the assessment. 1. The emotional and mental state must be comfortable, positive. 2. Asking questions is the first form of the evaluation process. 3. Value scale, the state of happiness that we always try to lead to or the state of suffering that we always try to avoid. 4. Universal belief, the rule of conformity with one's values is also a form of belief. 5. Reference experiences, the references you choose determine what you mean, how you feel, and act. When changing the control system, we can also change the way we interact in a variety of situations. Chapter 15, Living Values, a life orientation compass. The values dictate each of our decisions, and thus also write the fate of our life, and thus also the fate of our life. If we want to enjoy life to the fullest, we can achieve it by making decisions based on what we view as the most valuable, and then committing to living with them every day. Remember that all the decisions that are made are derived from knowing values, something you love and realizing how important it is to you call value. But it is necessary to distinguish the final value and the value of the means. Most people do not realize this difference, so have to taste a lot of pain. When you have what you want is unlikely to satisfy you. Only when living and doing what you believe is right will you gain intrinsic strength. Because when we live with value, you will feel solid, peaceful, completely comfortable. What is certain is that when we live with norms, we experience endless joys. There is no need to borrow other unhealthy stimuli. Only the ultimate values enrich the lives of each of us. You brainstorm to find the answer to the question, what matters most to me in life? Sort the order values from most important to least important. Any of these values, they all affect the direction of your life. Chapter 16, The Rules for a Happy Life. Rules are the keys of the brain. They help us to clearly recognize the consequences of the actions we take, so that we can quickly determine the meaning of things and what we should do. If each person sets himself the rules too etched, they will soon realize that no matter how well they do, they can't win. Let the rules motivate you and don't hold you back. To do so, you need to base the following characteristics. The rules of suppression are complex rules that cannot be met. The rule represses when it obliges others. The environment satisfies your needs. It's just open a few ways to get you happy, but there are lots of ways you can feel numb again. If you want to control your life and want things to work well, you have to discover other people's rules and communicate your rules to them. Like values, we also have a hierarchy of rules, which is the must-do rule. Never do is the limit threshold rule. The rules should and shouldn't are individual standards. Set rules so that everything is in your control, so that the outside is not the factor that determines whether you are happy or sad. Chapter 17, Reference Experiences, the Thread That Weaves Life. If you want to understand why people act like this, study the important reference experiences that affect their lives. So, what's the reference? These are experiences in life that you inscribe into your nervous system consciously or unconsciously from your own experience or receive from others. The imaginary images in the head, things that never happened, are also a great source of reference. Reading, watching movies, listening to music, attending seminars, exchanges will open up new ideas for you. Reading the biographies of successful people, taking experiences, building trust, can really shape the fate of one's life. Using contrasting references is also one of the most effective ways to change our perceptions and perceptions. So, to improve the quality of life for yourself, you have to actively expand the reference source. Chapter 18, Identity of Oneself, The Secret to Development. What is self-identity? These are beliefs that we use to define our own features, different from other people. Who I am. If we don't know who we are, how can we decide what to do? There may be many times when you try to make a special change in your life, but it's just emotional, behavioral changes, and not yet impulse or belief in who I am. With a sense of relaxation, safety, exploration, you breathe deeply, keep your mind relaxed, do not fret, do not seek perfection, you ask the question, who am I? Write down below the answer, keep asking, then dig deeper, until you find the most compelling description. We can redefine ourselves, or simply decide to let the real people inside us shine. You can choose someone who has the personalities that you aspire to, can be role models. Imagine you're integrating into this new identity. Describe the details of who you decide to become, build a plan of action, commit to living with a new identity by communicating this information to everyone around you and yourself. When deciding to think, feel and act according to the type of person you want to be, you will become that person, not behave like them. Now you're approaching a turning point. This is a hugely important opportunity. Forget the past, don't think about who you were. Who are you now? Who do you decide to become? Part 3, 7 Days Orientation for Life. Chapter 19, Master Emotions. Day 1. Goal: control the emotional state and actively reshape the daily life experience. Write down all the feelings you've experienced in a normal week. List the events or situations you use to trigger these emotions. With the skills of changing emotions that you already know, come up with a chemical cure for each negative emotion. Make sure to constantly focus on the solution instead of the problem. Chapter 20, Physical Training. Day 2. Goal: programming for the metabolism generates energy and exercises muscles to achieve toughness as desired. Toughness is the ability to perform physical activity, while health is a state in which all systems of the body are functioning optimally. It's ideal to have both health and toughness. Aerobic exercises are exercises that increase the amount of oxygen absorbed into the body, the intensity and the small amplitude, only 60–70% of the body, but large frequency, many times, with a long training period. These exercises train endurance, improve heart function, lungs, blood vessels and muscles. Fat will be burned as the main source of energy generation. Anaerobic exercises, without oxygen, which are exercises that generate explosive power in short periods of time, consume glycogen, a type of carbohydrate, as the main fuel source that causes the body to build up fat. Health and toughness are both our goals. Therefore, at the beginning of the development of aerobic capacity, once it has reached a stable state, you can increase the strength by adding to the anaerobic mode. Make exercise a part of your identity. Through a commitment to long-term practice, we can redeem the fruits that life gives. Chapter 21, Creating and Maintaining Relationships. Day 3. Goal: improve the quality of relationships, and deepen emotional relationships with the people we care about most through 6 successful relationship building platforms. Understanding the principle of the other, you can preemptively prevent troubles. In order for the relationship to be sustainable, you should consider the relationship as a place to give away rather than a place to receive. Be aware of the warning signs of problems arising in the relationship to find a solution before they get out of hand. See relationships as a priority in life. Make the relationship better every day. Every day you think about the things you love and people who are in relationships with you. Chapter 22, Financial Management. Day 4. Goal: to master the future financial destiny through 5 basic elements to build wealth. Earning more money does not mean that people will be freer, because they have to trade their youth, so that they are too old to enjoy the gains. So what's trying to make money for? Today, technology determines value, so taking over scarce resources is no longer a key determinant of prosperity. Incredible individuals like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, all know how to exploit hidden values, ideas, information, to create giant economic empire. Lessons for creating sustainable wealth. 1. Creating wealth, you need to think creatively to increase income, so what you need to do right away is to open up knowledge and improve your skills. Self-learning is important. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be able to contribute much value. 2. Preservation of wealth. The only way to preserve wealth is to spend less than earned income, spend the extra money invested. Line a plan to control his spending. 3. Increase wealth. Investments will continue to increase and multiply until you have a solid economy. 4. Protecting wealth. Protecting assets is not about trying to avoid legitimate loans, but to protect ourselves from attacks, petty litigation. 5. Enjoy the fruits. Money is not the ultimate goal, it's just the means. We should share the positive impact of it with those we care about. Otherwise, the money is worth nothing. Sharing is one of life's greatest joys. Reward yourself during the accumulation process. Chapter 23. Creating a Code of Conduct. Day 5. Goal: constantly live with the values committed. Decide to control yourself by setting higher standards, outlining a strategy to achieve those standards. If you really follow that code of conduct, imagine how unusual you will feel. You will no longer be driven by the surrounding events. No matter what happens, you will remain wise and live with the created vision. Chapter 24. Master Time, Master Life. Day 6. The goal: learn to use time for your benefit, instead of letting time control your stress satisfaction. We are stressed often because we don't see enough time to do what we want to do in accordance with the quality of commitment, causing the efficiency of work to decline rapidly. We forget that time is relative. The experience of time is only the result of mental concentration. Trust is also a factor influencing the perception of time. Therefore, mastering time is also a life skill. The only way to truly manage your time is to build a calendar every day. Spend most of your time doing more important things. The trick to save time is to distort the time, i.e., the ability to last 1 minute by an hour or do an hour as long as a minute. Focus on management rather than those that need immediate attention. Know how to burn the stage by applying the experiences of others, and not just based on the wrong method of trial. Chapter 25. Rest and Play. Saturday. Goal: achieve balance. Work hard and have fun. Take the time to have fun. Be improvised to do something really different than usual. Never lose the soul of your young poetry. Part 4. Fateful Lesson. Chapter 26. The Ultimate Challenge. Many people feel that they are small, helpless in the face of social problems or events of the world. They think that although they always do many good deeds in life, their prosperity is still subject to the actions of others. So, what's the benefit of living standard? We have to realize that the source of all the problems is behavior, and some of the things that we have full control over are the inner world, which determines what everything means and how to act. Through action, our values and beliefs are spread. So what can a real person do to make a difference to the world? Almost everything. Each has the innate potential available to be a hero. Heroes are not perfect models because no one is perfect. Humanity, rather than perfection, is a manifestation of heroism. Deep down, each of us wants to do what we believe is right, nothing that makes us feel satisfied with dedication. Giving away without wishing to receive back is the basis of feeling full and complete. Let's start the path to becoming your brother from there.